Welcome back to the Quiet Millionaire, where we don't chase wealth, we regulate into it. Ever notice how even rest feels like failure? You try to step away, take a night off, maybe sit in silence for a while, but something presses in at the edges, a dull guilt, or a voice that says, you should be using this time. Most of the world tells you it's just your drive, but you know, deep down, that drive and anxiety can look the same in your body. That's not ambition talking. It's fear disguised as discipline. Let that land. Ever feel like slowing down is more terrifying than burning out? You're supposed to pace yourself, recharge, recover for the next round. But stopping, even for a moment, feels riskier than running past your own capacity. You reach for your phone, glance at the numbers, check your inbox before you even get out of bed. Busy looks like safety, even when it's costing you everywhere else. You already know this. Ever wonder why urgency still runs your mornings, even when you know better? You've read the books, tried the meditations, told yourself this week will be different, but your nervous system is already bracing for impact before the sun's all the way up. It's not a lack of willpower. It is that money, or the fear of losing it. So it's like static in your chest. Your body is wired to protect you from uncertainty. There's nothing to prove. Today, we're not talking mindset. We're addressing what's underneath your money behavior, the part that's scanning for threat before you can even name it. There's an emotional tax to hypervigilance. Each time you equate more work with more safety, your system gets stuck in pursuit. Wealth, then, becomes fragile, something you grip harder, like trying to hold water in a tight fist. The harder you close, the less you hold. Letting go feels riskier, but only when you're used to gripping. And yet, when water rests in an open palm, nothing is lost. This isn't theory. This is your nervous system adapting. Here's the sabotage pattern. You've been conditioned to grip every dollar, every number, every outcome. Unconsciously, the nervous system treats money like a threat, not a resource. The low hum of background stress trails you through the week. Checking your bank balance again at 3 a.m., eyes barely open just to see if you're still safe. Your body's not confused. It's adapting. This is survival energy, labeled as discipline. Let that land. Most people reward themselves for it. Urgency gets mistaken for progress. Hustle replaces structure. Your phone sits by the bed, one arm's reach from Slack, Stripe, and email. It's not ambition. It's nervous system defense. Every invoice triggers a flush, shoulders tighten. Breath gets shallow. Take a moment, even when the numbers line up. Do you ever actually feel like you've landed? Here's what I want you to try. Recognize how normalized this has become. Apologizing for rest. Taking calls at dinner. Berating yourself for an unfinished to-do list. The body stays in forward threat, never present, never home. Let that register. Safety is always postponed. No trophy, just more tension stacking inside. You already know this. Old money teachers said more effort means more protection, but it's never led to true stability. Real wealth can't exist without real ground beneath it. This isn't about blaming hustle or ambition. It's about watching how much gets lost in over-control. When you treat your nervous system like an obstacle, you end up draining the actual foundation your business needs. If you find yourself waking up just to check if you're okay, that's not you being lazy, that's your system on constant alert. This isn't theory. This is your nervous system adapting. Building a tower with no ground never ends well. Pause there. Now that we see it, let's shift. Let's flip this. Most people grip money like it's a verdict. Every invoice, every bill, every balance check, it feels like someone's measuring your worth through numbers. When you're wired for achievement, even a small expense can hit like you're failing some invisible test. But sit with this. Money isn't the judge. It's a mirror. Nothing more, nothing less. When your chest gets tight, ask, is this about the bill, or is this something older? Living in your nervous system, you already know this. The numbers in your account are not a threat in themselves. They are silent. They sit there, reflecting what's already happening inside you. Think of the bathroom scale. Step on it. The number that appears doesn't create your weight. The scale doesn't accuse you. It can't. It just reports something that already exists. Some people see that number and go straight to shame. Others see data, nothing more. The scale isn't the enemy. It can't hurt you. Let that land. Your bank app works the same way. You look, you feel. But the app is mute. The number hasn't changed your value. The echo of old doubt, that's your body's wiring replaying itself. When this happens, pause. Ask yourself, is there an actual storm outside? Or just thunder from last year? Still echoing in the room? This isn't a fix. It's a frame. Once you see money as a mirror, not a verdict, you can respond as the observer, not the defendant. Anchor this once. Repeat when it wobbles. Over time, your system learns not to panic at the sight of a number. That's the discipline. If this shows up in your week, pause there. Give yourself a breath. The mirror can't touch you. All it's ever done is show what's already here. Most people build their financial lives on fast decisions, anxious checking, and hollow reassurance. They wait for a feeling of safety to show up at the end of their month, after another win, after another number appears on a screen. It never really sticks. That's because nothing roots in a body bracing for threat, and when your nervous system is tense, money always feels about to slip away. You already know this. Tracing expenses with a clenched jaw, reading tax emails with your heart pounding, calling your bank only when you can't sleep. This pattern loops until the body learns something different. And the difference isn't about tactics. It's about stewardship. Try this instead. Next time you have a decision, a transfer, an investment, a tough call with your partner, pause, stand up, walk outside. Even for the quiet minutes, let your feet find the ground. Notice the air, the steady rhythm of your step. When you step back in, ask your body, does my chest feel more open or just as tight? Make your decision from solid ground, not shaking soil. Let that land. If this shows up in your week, pause there. Touch your keyboard only when you're steady. If you're opening an account, look away from the screen first. Notice your hands. Take a slow breath. This is not a performance. This is your nervous system adapting. You're showing your body that every financial act is safe, not a threat. That's the discipline. Most will skip this. They'll keep performing courage, rushing into more complexity to numb a restless system. But nothing compounds like regulation. Over time, you stop linking growth to anxiety, and money feels less like a test, more like a tool. Anchor this once. Repeat when it wobbles. Build capacity, not speed. Remember, most wealth content talks about chasing, reaching, or breaking through. But we both know the cycle. Push hard, rest just long enough to avoid collapse, then dive back in. That's the life of the sprinter. Bursts, exhaustion. Repeat. There's a high in the chase, but notice how stillness feels foreign. Ask yourself, do you honestly feel safe when things stop moving? Most men and women I work with only feel wealthy when effort is visible. They identify as strivers, not stewards. The money hits their account, then a new project, a new investment, a new puzzle to solve. The nervous system gets attached to motion. Even stress feels familiar. Stability, that feels risky, and a bank account sitting still feels wasteful, exposed, almost unsafe. Let that land. It is why some of the hardest working people you know rarely keep what they make. Here's the shift. Become the vessel, not the sprinter. A vessel can hold without leaking, without panic. To be a vessel means you feel worthy, not of earning, but of keeping. You anchor wealth, so it can rest. There's nothing to chase. You literally allow money to be held, not moved. Your nervous system adapts. Less urgency, more capacity. Imagine logging into your account and feeling nothing needs to change. No, it's to reinvest. No need to spend for proof. Money is safe with you. That's the discipline. If this shows up in your week, pause there. Notice the discomfort when you don't make a move. See if you can breathe into that. Building self-trust doesn't come from sprinting yourself into depletion. It comes from letting the vessel be enough, letting stability be proof you're capable. This isn't a fix. It's a frame. Anchor it. Repeat every time you want to run. You've sat with 3 shifts that don't need to be performed. They need to be lived. Don't gloss over that. Quiet order is earned by seeing money as a mirror, not as a threat, not as a scoreboard. The dollars in your life, they're not out to judge you. They're showing you your state. If you want more, it's not about working harder. It's about working from a place of internal steadiness. The mirror is honest. You don't have to fight that. Let that land. The second shift is where most move too quickly and pay for it later. The nervous system comes first. Financial growth that outruns your ability to hold safety is a recipe for collapse. You know this. You feel it when your breathing goes shallow, when your weekends disappear, when your mind loops at night. Tending the soil means regulating the body you bring to your business. This isn't a feeling. It's structure, sleep, silence, and movement. This is the discipline. Anchor that as often as you need. The third shift is steadier than you think. It's not about appearing wealthy or chasing the next number. It's about becoming the kind of person who can truly keep what arrives. If holding money feels unsafe, it will always leak. The chase never stops. So, this time, let yourself step into the role of steward. Quietly. No drama. You build the habit of staying with yourself, not abandoning when ease shows up. If this shows up in your week, pause there. 5 truths to keep steady. I am safe to hold abundance. My nervous system sets the pace of my wealth. Money mirrors my state, and I choose steadiness. Wealth is not a chase. It is my capacity to receive. Each decision I make can be grounded, not hurried. Let these settle. You don't have to rush clarity. Internal order takes repetition with every new dollar, every moment of rest.